Hi, this is Karina with Discovery Writer, and I'm in my jammies still, but that's okay because I wanted to get this out real quick. I want to talk about first writing. When I wrote my manuscript, yep, here it is in all its glory. Lots of editing. Yeah, lots and lots of editing. It's ridiculous. Anyway, different colors. Anyway, but when I wrote my manuscript, I did not know that I was trying to write a book. So I just started writing my idea, and it turned into 5 very, very big chapters, which now I'm breaking up into 2, so it'll be 10 chapters. But at the time, I just was writing, and then by the time I hit the end, I realized that's the end of a book. That's a perfect end of a book. I pretty much had written all of the climax and the denouement. Denouement. Anyway, however you say it. Denouement. And so when I was done, I knew that I needed to finish this story, and so I started from the beginning and worked my way over. Now, so you've got my ending right here. And so I started writing all the stuff leading up to it, from here to here. And now that I'm going through and I'm doing intensive edits, and I know what to fix, and I know how to do my blocking, and I know how to do my pacing, and I know how to, do the show don't tell, and all these things. I've learned a lot of these, things that I need to do and how to fix them, and so I started doing that in chapter 1 because I was taking it to a conference, and so I was getting that ready for. So now I have a fantastic chapter 1. It's pretty pristine. And then, but I kept reading because I was in the middle of a different process before, and so I kept reading, and I got to that point where it was that last 5 chapters, and reading up until that. So I started reading it, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is complete crap. I mean, it's awful. Just awful. It makes me want to cringe how awful it is. And, and I think that that's the problem, is that, anytime that you start a project, whatever you write first, it's probably not going to be your best. And it's probably going to, like, by the time you're done and you're starting to edit, it's going to be the area where you're like, ugh, you just kind of groan. And you have to be aware of that, because I think sometimes writers kind of look past it. It somewhat works, and so they slap it into a book and start selling ebooks. I didn't want to settle for that. I could have easily done that to this book a long time ago. But yeah, I'm not settling for subpar work. I'm just not. So, and I'm not saying self-published authors give out subpar stuff. I'm saying that some do. I did not want to be one of them. Anyway, so I think that you have to go in knowing that there's going to be those parts. There's sometimes in my book where I'm like, wow, that's fantastic writing, or that's some great dialogue. Even within those last chapter, those last few chapters, there is some good writing intermixed between a lot of bad writing. So just be aware that whatever you wrote first, that you're probably going to have to spend more time on that section. Most of the time, I think authors or writers tend to write chronologically. That's what my cousin did, and she is and she's struggling with her beginning because that's what she wrote first. And partially because I think, even if you do outline, you discover right along the way, and so there's going to be things that come up that make whatever you wrote first kind of obsolete, or doesn't really flow with the rest. So, I mean, I would never say don't write your ending first. It is my climax and my denouement. But I feel okay. I think that beginnings, middles, and ends are all equally important. You have to hook your readers with a beginning. You have to keep your readers turning pages in the middle, and you have to follow up on your promise at the end. So they're all equally important, So no matter where you start your book, whatever you wrote first, you just have to focus on it. There's no section of book that's more important. If I was going to say an area was more important, it'd probably be your beginning, just because you have to hook agents, hook publishers, and hook readers into your book. But if you don't fulfill on your promise at the end of the book, you're going to have some problems. You're going to have some angry fans. So, or angry readers, and they're going to throw your book at the wall. It's funny how we use that phrase a lot. You know, I'm going to chuck the book against the wall. It's kind of funny. I just realized after going to my first conference how many people say that. It's just kind of funny. I'm sorry. Okay, that's beside the point. So, and you got to also realize too that once you start writing other books, that yes, your first book is probably going to be your not so good book. It's just going to be. It's just the way it is. Unless you spend 15 years writing your first book and then you get a deal and then they're like, okay, we want another book in 2 years, and you're not used to working on a schedule, then maybe your first book will be better. But anyway, so just plan on taking the time necessary to get your book as neat as possible. There is such a thing as over editing, but generally I think most writers want to be, tend to not, I guess maybe I shouldn't say that, because I think that, there's good writers out there who spend the right amount of time working on it and getting it pristine. But there's also a lot of authors out there that I think do put out subpar because they just want to be done with it. And if you get sick of your book when it's not finished being edited, you got a problem. Obviously, maybe your story is not enticing enough for you to want to work on it, so why would you expect anybody to want to read it? I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent. I'm sorry. But anyway, so that's sorry, yeah, I look kind of today, but I'm going to be reading today, so I was just like, I'm not getting ready. Sorry. But anyway, so just trudge forward, do the work that's necessary, spend time on the problem areas. If you find yourself getting bored with your work, then that's probably the section you need to work on. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll get another one out here sometime. All right, thanks, bye.